Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something really cool. It's this fascinating conversation that's happening all around us, not in texts or on social media, but right there on our screens. It's a dialogue that's happening between the films themselves. So let's dive in. You know that feeling, right? You watch a couple of new movies, maybe a few weeks apart, and you get this weird sense of déjà vu. It feels like they're both wrestling with the same ideas, the same feelings. Well, the thing is, it's not just a coincidence. It's actually something way more interesting. We call this a visual echo. Think of it like this. Different stories in totally different genres start to bounce off each other. They reflect this shared cultural mood, creating this massive, unspoken dialogue about who we are and where we are, right at this very moment. All right, so today we're going to tune into some of the most powerful echoes in recent movies. We're going to look at what these conversations are really saying about our modern world and maybe how they help us make a little more sense of it all. Okay, first up is a quieter one. It's a more introspective echo, and it feels especially real in our world, which is somehow super connected and at the same time kind of lonely. It's all about memory and the connections that live in the spaces between us, in the silence. Take these two incredible films. They're both getting at a similar feeling, but from totally different places. After Sun feels like trying to hold on to a dream after you wake up, piecing together a memory of a person from these little fragments. And then you have Past Lives, which is all about the quiet heartbreak of what could have been, of a bond that's stretched across time and distance. But at the end of the day, they're both about what we don't say and just how much emotion can live in that silence. This phrase just nails it, doesn't it? Alone together. It's such a modern paradox. I mean, we've never been more connected, technically, but these films tap into this deep feeling of isolation and how hard it can be to really know someone, even the people we're closest to. And you can see how they do it, right? It's like they're all using the same toolkit. It's all about emotions that are felt but never said out loud, memories that feel broken and incomplete, and this very specific kind of sad and beautiful tone. But, okay, not all echoes are this quiet. Let's switch gears completely. All right, so we're going from the quiet and thoughtful to the loud, the chaotic, and frankly, kind of scary. This next echo is all about our obsession with being seen, with spectacle, with consumption, and the real dangers of living in a world that always wants you to be performing. I mean, just look at this lineup. Three wildly different movies, all staring down the exact same problem. So you've got Nope, which literally gives us a monster that punishes you for trying to capture it on camera, a perfect metaphor for our need to record and monetize everything. Then there's Triangle of Sadness, which just rips into the hollow absurdity of influencers and the super rich. And White Noise shows us a family trying to use the supermarket as therapy for their fear of death. They are all, in their own way, giant warning signs. And it leads to this huge question. It's a heavy one, for sure, but these films really force us to ask it. Is our constant need for more content, more spectacle, more distraction, is it actually just keeping us from dealing with what's real? But it's not all doom and gloom. Cinema isn't just pointing out the problem. In some ways, it's also offering us a way out. This next echo is a really powerful response to the spectacle trap. It's about films that make us look closer, that challenge how we see and reconnect us to something real. It's a search for authenticity in a world that feels more and more fake. Okay, so let's start with something we all know. Take the human body. It's the subject of the documentary De Humani Corporis Fabrica. I mean, what could be more familiar than our own bodies, right? We live inside them every second of every day. But then, this film does something wild. It takes these tiny surgical cameras and goes inside the body. And suddenly, it's not familiar at all. It's this strange, bizarre, almost alien landscape. It takes the one thing we think we know and makes it totally unrecognizable. And that's where the magic happens. Because by showing us this raw, unfiltered biological truth, the actual machinery of life and death working inside of us, it just cuts through all the noise and performance of the outside world. It grounds us in something that is profoundly, undeniably real. This all leads to a really powerful idea called radical empathy. When you see the raw, fragile, biological stuff that connects every single one of us, it's like a perfect antidote to all that superficial spectacle. It's a connection that isn't based on what we post or perform, but on the simple fact of our shared humanity. So, okay, we've talked about these echoes of solitude and spectacle and this deep empathy. But why does any of this actually matter? What's the real takeaway here?
Because here's what happens when you start to notice these things, when you start to listen for these echoes. Your whole relationship with movies and shows changes. You go from just being a passive consumer, letting images wash over you, to being an active participant in this huge, ongoing cultural conversation. And that's how you start to find a much deeper, more personal meaning in the stories you watch. And that right there is the key. These echoes aren't just a mirror showing us what our world looks like. They're more like a map. They're a set of tools that filmmakers are giving us to help navigate our complicated lives. They help us put a name to feelings we couldn't quite explain and see patterns we might have otherwise missed.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. The next time you're watching a movie or binging a show, just listen a little closer. What conversation is it having with other stories? What themes keep popping up? What visual echoes are you hearing? Thanks for joining me.